Okay, Neos Wednesdays is a thing for us now. There is a bunch of people who are lovely, wonderful people I hang out with in VRChat, and a few of us were like, we should definitely do more time in Neos. And one of the problems is if you're all trickling on there every odd day or whatever, it's tough. So we said Wednesdays are Neos Wednesdays, and we had our first Neos Wednesday this week. And I've got to say, the obvious question, is Neos a VRChat killer? To which my answer would be not yet. And in regards to Neos, I need to spend more time with it, but I'm very excited for it. My initial comparison would be, it's like Linux, more forward-thinking, more powerful, lots of things to tinker with, more furries and beards would be my general assessment of Neos. No, but it's super powerful, and it reminds me a lot of Dreams. Initially, I wasn't going to talk about BAFTAs and Dreams this morning, but then that all happened, talked about it, and while I was doing that, I was like, because initially I was talking about it purely in the context of VRChat, but it does remind me a lot of Dreams, because the thing that's really nice about Neos is you drop into Neos, and all of the avatar setup, and a lot of the logic and stuff you do inside of Neos, much like you do inside of Dreams. It's rough though, it's super rough. A lot of the things that make Dreams work so well is a lot of UX design, iteration, user testing, refinement. None of that is in Neos. Neos is confusing, the UI is unintuitive, and yeah, it's very Linuxy. They have these wonderful moderation team, these helpers who will guide you through and will assist you, and the community is very wonderful at sort of teaching each other. But I think back to like older versions of Dreams, like when the palette was just like this list of letters for splats and stuff, and the weird like controls and stuff you had to bring up I am GUI for things and whatnot. And that's where Neos is. And you can also tell, so one of the things that Neos has is it has all of these powerful tools that you pull out of your like toolbox to do things like inspect materials and modify the emissivity of materials and switch them up to different modes. And you can grab bones and tweak it all and do crazy stuff, like all the kind of stuff you would expect in Dreams. But unlike Dreams, it hasn't had the designer sit down for hours thinking about, oh, what icons or what imagery can we use, and then running it through user testing and stuff. It's a small team without much of a budget. So the amount that they have achieved already is just staggering. And we will definitely be doing a stream inside of Neos. And I will say off the bat, I wanted to do more like VR record streams, and VRChat's nice for that. But holy hell, is Neos so much more powerful for that. And I am actually really attracted to Neos for doing that stuff. Because yeah, you can rig up all the kind of gadgety logic you would expect in Dreams. And you've seen this in other places. Obviously the big one, the initial one was Little Big Planet. Little Big Planet was the first game to really push the node logic system to crazy amounts of people. It wasn't the first game with the node logic system, but it was one that made the most splash, and it's the one that I think people point to. Yes, it was existed in other non-gaming contexts as well, but it was definitely like a big one. And that was before blueprints, and that was before a lot of the visual programming stuff became popular, because it was born from a limitation of console. But the thing is, unlike Little Big Planet, it's much more akin to the Dreams era logic, because they have inspector windows which are a lot like tweak windows, and you can literally hook up wires to all the individual values and you can have things driven through that. And so it feels very Dreamsy, but it feels a super advanced version of Dreams, which is unfair to Dreams, because Dreams can do not most of the things. Dreams can do a lot of the things it can do. The things it doesn't let you do are mostly just due to friendliness and do you need to do this thing? But it is clunky. And as I say, these tooltips these tools that you use to edit, if I put them in a user testing session in front of people and I was like, here's the thing, what is the material inspector tool? You couldn't pick it out from a lineup. Maybe once you had spent time with Neos and learned it and mapped it to your head, but even then the silhouettes and stuff aren't like super strong. So yeah, weak there. Easily, it just feels like it needs it needs like that design UX pass. But it'll be tough because we've seen this in Blender and other open source communities, because Neo has a small but passionate community already, and reworking that kind of stuff's tough. But yeah, I need to spend more time with it. Though one of the things you get pretty good at when you've worked with A&R teams and pitch teams is you get pretty good at judging games fast. Judging sounds really judgmental, but it's just picking out like the interesting bits, picking out the weaknesses, because you have to, right? That's your profession, that's what you do. But holy hell, does Neos have a lot of promise. And it has a really interesting attitude. The weaknesses, though. Okay, so the weaknesses. First of all, I don't want to say this is a weakness, more this is a strength of VRChat. So VRChat is the only social metaverse, other than the open like verse stuff that's been done on the web, that allows custom shaders, to my knowledge. Custom shaders should not be used by the vast majority of people. I think preset shaders with configurable bits work really well. They let you keep the performance down. There's a lot of good reasons not to have custom shaders. However, to achieve that top tier of content, custom shaders really do take to the next level. And it does mean that the worlds and like the light baking and stuff that you get in VRChat is missing, but everything you won't see as much high fidelity stuff. Having said that, I think more people will be creators in Neos. More people will make stuff in Neos. It's much easier to dip your toe in. It's just reaching the visual stunning heights is going to be tough. That said, I actually much prefer their UGC approach than VRChat, because VRChat's UGC approach depends on Unity, which is a whole bag of worms, and the way they do content is fragile going forward. Really hope it's a thing they fix. Without looking at the code base, it's hard to tell where Neos is on that, but the way Neos is doing it, in theory, is a lot more robust. In theory, you could make it extremely robust. So yeah, Neos is set up well for that, but yeah, the lack of custom shaders does cap it a little bit. I think if I was to say, how would you close that gap without going full way to custom shaders? I think you can get most of the way there, not all of the way there, with a few. So one of the things Streams did was the grade gadget. The grade gadget gets you a lot of the way there. LUT, lookup tables, color reference table stuff, grading gadget stuff. I think because it's PC and it's a bit more techy, I would potentially put in supports for LUTs and more sophisticated grading stuff in there, post-process stuff, and that I think would help lift it. Though the real kraken below the water, the real danger in Neos is its moderation and safety tools do not appear to be ready for prime time. I would not be comfortable going into publics as much. And it's really interesting. Hopefully it's something they solve. I had some really interesting conversations with the mod team, and they seem really on it. They seem really wholesome. They don't have a problem with the scale of the community as it is at the moment. So yeah, that's really good. But big ass red flag warning signs everywhere on that one. That one kind of terrifies me a little bit with Neos. Moderation and safety teams, lovely people, they're really on top of it, but it's a very abusable system. Because you can do things like make your own gadgets and bring your own gadgets into worlds, and you can troll people with trampolines, you can stick stuff to people's faces, you can have crazy logic worlds, and everything is built and based around the idea of the session host being God and having ultimate authority, and not much person-to-person moderation tool stuff, safety stuff, and it's really hard. It's really like they have a big mountain to climb. There are a lot of stuff to put in, and worse than that, the issue of powerful logic is difficult to moderate. It's something that I have some experience talking about this in regards to Dreams, because think about all the gadgets you have in Dreams. Think about all the stuff you can do in Dreams, right? Now move that to multiplayer VR. How easy is it to troll people just think about how Dreams exists at the moment as a single player VR experience. How easy is it to troll people? Extremely easy. And unlike VR content, which you release out and you might troll 1 or 2 people and then they'll report you and they'll get moderated, or you'll just get poor ratings and won't spread through the community, so you won't get many people. Social experiences are intangible and fast, and so your ability to troll people in social VR is just exceedingly high. And when you add in logic systems, the breadth of trolling becomes really high. Now, it's capable, you're able to make avatars and systems in some other games that troll, but they are harder. There is a higher degree of friction. The mere fact in Neos it's so easy to make stuff makes it really easy to troll. And the lack of from the ground up thinking about that kind of safety stuff makes it tough. And it's a big technical challenge for that team. As I say, I need to spend more time with Neos. But I can see a ticking time bomb when I can see one like that is an issue. And it's not an insurmountable issue. So for example, Neos has really good avatar protection. Not perfect avatar protection, nothing does, or nothing on an open platform like PC does. But like one of the issues with being able to grab materials and stuff from another person's avatar and the way the permission systems work and stuff, one of the mods showed me like, oh look, I'm admin in this world, let me try on your inspector turn off your thingy protection. Oh no, I can't do that. Let me try grab this material. Oh no, I can't do that. So the team isn't, wow, sirens, constant. The team isn't foreign to the concept of those sort of low-level protections and integrations. They just haven't prioritized it. And it's fair. As a team, you've got to pick your battles, but it also shows the culture of the team as to where they put their time in. And the culture of Neos is very much a culture of power users, techie, heavy, like it's one of the only places you can use a lip tracker at the moment. And yeah, Linux is the best comparison I can make to it. And I don't mean that as a negative thing. I see Linux in many ways as the future. I see Linux as the shining beacon on the hill that gets others to move in the right direction. And I think Neos could be that, and I definitely think it would be worth us spending time in Neos. I want to do more virtual production stuff in Neos. I think if you're interested in this space and you're not at least giving Neos some of your attention, I think you're doing it a disservice. That would be my summary on the issue. If you care about metaverse stuff and you want to play in the metaverse and you care about where the metaverse is going, Neos is one of the most interesting projects at the moment. I still, for parties and socialization, and on the weekend I'll be logging into VRChat. VRChat is going to be the place I go because it's where the people are. It's the de facto meeting place and it provides a very good sense of presence. I'd also say I didn't feel as embodied, and I actively felt like I had to shut down my phantom touch in Neos. I was like actively retreating, mostly because of safety concerns, and I just didn't feel comfortable. I didn't feel comfortable exposing myself. Like I felt like a raw nerve getting too much stimulation in Neos, and it didn't feel safe. Yeah, I think I'll play around a lot in Neos, but do I think I will sleep in Neos? Do I think I will chill out in Neos? Do I think I'll spend time with friends and have emotional conversations and meet strangers and get drunk? No. Not as it currently stands. I will do all of those things in VRChat. But yeah, I definitely, for my virtual productions, for my more techie stuff, and for Wednesdays, Neos VR is going to be on the agenda. So, that being all said, let's go to chat and see if there's anything we can glean from chat. I don't know if I'm going to include. Yeah, I don't know. I should do a stream from Neos. I think that's the best way to show you guys what it's all about. I was going to do it this morning, and then I wanted to talk about the BAFTA stuff, and I didn't want to talk about the BAFTA stuff inside Neos. It just didn't feel right, hence why I didn't do it in Neos.